Ultimate Spider-Man Season 3, Episode 2, Agent Venom. Now, when I first found out that this episode was going to be a part of this season, I was really excited for it. I forgot who was actually in the Venom suit. For some reason, I thought it was still Eddie Brock the whole time. Because I had heard about Agent Venom, I want to say like 2 years ago. It was probably a couple of months, 3 or 4 months after the character actually came out, or probably later than that, really. And I remember when I first saw him, I was like, this character looks amazing. I always loved Venom as a character. And to see that he was closer to the symbiote Spider Man outfit, which is my favorite Spider Man outfit, it was really cool to see that outfit. And he was cool. He had the guns and stuff. It made him look even cooler. And the story that they had for this episode, like I mentioned, I was thinking it was still Eddie Brock for some reason. It's a much nicer version than actually in the comics, because in the comics, instead of Flash just kind of, oh, here's symbiote on my foot. In the comics, he was actually a soldier and he actually lost his legs in war, so they gave him the symbiote. And I don't know the specifics for all of that, like why they chose to give him symbiote and all that, but that's why he ended up being Venom. And in this, it was just much more Disney-esque and kid-friendly, but it was still really cool. He looked really cool. He started off simple and it was just black, and I was like, I wish he had like the big spider like he does in the final suit. And when he gets to the end of the episode, it's much closer. For some reason, he didn't have the white patches. I don't think I saw the white patches at the end. I might have just missed it, but it definitely looked cool. He probably did have it. I just didn't see it because they weren't really like focusing on his hands exactly. But it definitely looked cool at the end. It doesn't look exactly like it. There are some parts where there's like extra white in the comic books, like it goes down his legs and stuff for a little bit. But they didn't have it like that. But it still looks really amazing. It was a great episode. I thought the action was pretty good. We got to see two villains, Beetle and Taskmaster. Taskmaster looks really cool in this one. I feel like he looks different than he did the last time he showed up. And I think it's really just the fact that he doesn't have the cape that he normally has. He just had the hood. So that might have been the real big difference. So there was no cape to look at. So I was completely focused on like his body armor and stuff. So he looked really cool in the episode. I enjoyed the fighting. It was just really cool to see Flash become Agent Venom. But because it was called that, that's why I thought it was going to be sort of in the middle of the story where he just happened to come in and help Spidey out. And, Spidey, like, found out, like, oh, I didn't know this guy existed because, that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. does. They hide things. But it was cool to see that, and they had their own little fight, which was pretty cool. And then in the end of the episode, it's like, instead of him, Flash, being able to get rid of the symbiote, he's considered the perfect host for the symbiote. He's the perfect match for the DNA. So it's completely bonded to his DNA, and it was just really cool how they did that. So I'm excited for him to be in the series. Hopefully he'll come in every once in a while and they'll do some really cool team ups. And I, with it being Disney, I doubt he'll really have guns too much, and he probably won't have like a knife because they can't really get too up close and personal like that. But he'll be in there. He'll be doing some missions. I'd love to see him get his own show just because I love Venom and even the Agent Venom stuff. The little bit that I do know, I know the comic book was actually canceled, unfortunately, but it ran for quite a bit, so they could do like a small series on that if they wanted to. They probably won't. But it was definitely a cool episode. I love the ending for it. It really did bring out the point of the change for the title with it adding like Web Warriors at the end, which initially I just thought was due to like the big thing they're doing at the season finale, where it's going to be like all the different Spider-Man, but it's actually because of these new superheroes that are coming up, and they're the Web Warriors. So it'll carry over throughout the rest of the seasons, I'm guessing. But I definitely enjoyed the episode. Like I said, the ending was really interesting with like Taskmaster having hacked into Shield's security system, so he knows who these people are, and I don't know how he's gonna try to convince them, but I'm sure he has some tactics up his sleeve. So it's gonna be like sort of a race to get to these superheroes. So I'm definitely excited for the rest of the season. This episode was definitely action filled. They didn't have anyone from Spidey's team. They didn't have the Avengers or Spidey's regular team in there, and that was because they were completely focused on having Venom in there. So that was pretty cool. We actually got to see Mary Jane and Harry in this one for the quick little glimpses when they were dodging disaster, really. But it was cool to see them as well. But overall, definitely enjoyed the episode. Great to see Agent Venom get his animated debut. That's one of the big things about this season, is that they're bringing in a lot of characters like the Miles Morales stuff. They're giving characters their animation debut, which is really cool for the series. So it was cool to see Agent Venom come in. I'm hoping that we get to see more Flash slash Agent Venom throughout later seasons, and maybe he'll help Spidey take on Taskmaster since he was kind of the first person who was um, about or kind of getting recruited by Taskmaster during their fight scene. So it was a good episode. I enjoyed the ending, sort of leading up to these new superheroes and stuff, and they're either new characters or what I feel is much more likely. They're just characters that once again haven't really had animation debuts, so they're in the comic books and they're popular comic characters, but we just haven't really seen them. For people like me who don't really get to or can't really afford all the comics and stuff, we finally get to experience these characters, and it might be in a different light because it's a Disney version and not just here's the comic version. They can kind of cuss and kill and do this and that, but we'll still get to see him, and the show does do respect to its characters. I know people have their issues with some of the stuff in the show, like one thing I noticed was like a lot of tech focus was on Spidey in this one, at least with him like catching Venom, and he used like the electricity thing a lot because that was the easiest way to get Venom off. So I know like from the very beginning of the series that was a big issue for people. Like he got a lot of his tech from Shield, but that didn't really bother me that much. I mean, it was kind of funny to me when he had the giant thing on his arm, but they make it invisible. So when he's swinging around, it's like it's just not there. You just see Spider-Man. So that's an easy way to camouflage that, and he has enhanced strength, so it's not like it's gonna weigh him down or anything. So I thought that was just a smart little thing, like just make everything invisible, and whenever he needs it, it's just right there. Like he has the giant thing on one arm, and then like the electricity webbing, I guess, on the other arm. So that was something I just noticed in the beginning because that's what he has to use to catch Venom throughout the city. But it was interesting to see that, carrying over from the premiere of this season, it was a lot of focus on Venom, and then I think they're gonna kind of, I guess, shy away from that. Like Agent Venom is like the last Venom bit of Venom that's out in the world, and I'm sure Taskmaster will try to come after him again because he doesn't know that it's bonded to him like that. But I'm sure he'll come after Flash again, so that'll probably be what we get to see, where Agent Venom returns, and he'll have even more skills because he's going to be training with them on the helicarrier, sorry, and he'll have better skills, and we'll see him jumping around and using the tendrils, which was really cool to see him do that. They didn't really shy away from showing any of the extra skills that he has, so he was using the tendrils like crazy. He would either block with them or he would ease his fall when Flash was dropped off the crane. He used the tendrils as extra arms to sort of slow his descent, and he landed on the ground perfectly fine. So it was cool to see that, and like there are pictures, if you look up the comics, he's like holding guns, and then the tendrils have guns too. So it was cool to see that they didn't shy away from showing all of his abilities right up front. So I really enjoyed that. He has like I said, he's really close to the costume of the comic. Definitely cool. I'm excited for the rest of the season. I know we're gonna get Vulture coming up in this season, who we actually haven't had. Which when I read that, I wasn't thinking about it, and then I actually saw a picture of him, and I was like, oh, it was funny because I didn't really consider the fact that we never had Vulture in Ultimate Spider-Man because he's just, he's not ultra common, but I don't know, I guess after playing all the games for so many years, Vulture's just one of the villains they always go with. So we'll be getting Vulture, we'll be getting some other characters, and then the sort of 5-part season finale that we're gonna get is I'm really excited for, which we also got a little hint towards. They had Flash before he became Agent Venom. He was in the Scarlet Spider, like the old Scarlet Spider outfit. So that was pretty funny to see, and I enjoyed that. And I thought that was sort of the beginning, like sort of hint to the interdimensional stuff, but it wasn't. But I do believe we'll be getting that costume back later in the season when we get all the other Spider-Man. So that's going to be really cool. But I enjoyed this episode. Of course, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And for everyone out there who enjoyed the Agent Venom character, whether you knew him before because you read the comics or you didn't know him, what did you think about his animation debut? Comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.